Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's your girl Tanya, and this video is my book wrap up and review video for January. So, for the month of January, I only read 3 books, so we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about books, people. All right. So, the first book I didn't like that much Cousins by Karen McManus. It was very PG. So basically, it's about 3 cousins. They have never met their grandmother, who's very wealthy, who cut their parents off before they were even born. So they get this mysterious letter from their grandmother inviting them to her island resort where they're going to work for her for the summer. Mind you, they've never met her. They don't know this woman, but they go because they want to find out um, the reason why she cut their parents off. So you start off the book with, okay, you want to know like what happened 18 years ago. So they get to the island and like nothing interesting really happens. The story's very lukewarm. It's not that interesting. They meet their grandmother one time and she like has nothing to do with them for the rest of the summer. I just don't understand. So then there's just like not a lot of plot, not a lot going on. It's very PG, very slow, very lukewarm. When you get to the end of the story and the mystery is revealed, it's like, that's it. Like, that's it. So it was very anticlimactic. It was like an episode of Scooby-Doo when at the end they pull the mask off the bad guy and he's like, I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids. This was like what that was. This was like reading Scooby-Doo. And I probably think Scooby-Doo even is a little bit better than this book. I know I'm talking shit. But anyway, I gave the book 2 stars. I just wasn't feeling it. So Cousins by Karen McManus, not so much. Not so much. Would I recommend it? No. Mm-mm. All right, so moving on. Moving on. My next book was Once and Future Witches by Alex Harrow. So, okay, now this here, yeah, this was a book. All right. So basically, this takes place in this in Massachusetts, in a town called New Salem, and this is about 200 years after the the famous Salem witch trials, and after the Salem witch trials, like witchcraft has gone underground anyway. Witchcraft is gone. So this is in the summer of the year 1893. You got 3 sisters with magical abilities. They reunite in this town of New Salem. And on the day that they all arrive in this small town, all of a sudden magic is on display for the world to see. No one knows where it came from. It just like came out of nowhere. So the sisters decide to start an organization of women that can do magic, and they call themselves the Sisters of Eastwood. And they start stirring shit up. They don't want to hide their magic anymore. They're tired of and it's not just a book about, it's like femininity meets magic. Women are tired of being treated like shit. They're tired of being walked over. They're tired of being second class in society. And we're tired of having to hide the fact that we're magical ass witches and we're powerful. You know what I'm saying? But of course, the powers that be, they want the little women to shut up, and they want the witches to be prosecuted, punished to the highest extent of the law, burn them, all of that. So this is kind of a story of like femininity, women empowerment, witches that don't want to hide no more. But the real threat in the small town is the witches are not even the threat. There's another threat lurking in the darkness. So this book turns into like a battle of good and evil. And all I'm saying is the witches, they're not really the bad ones. They're. So anyway, when I was reading the book at first, I was like, maybe this is like a 3.5. But then when we got to the end, and there's like, whenever there's magic, there's always like a sacrifice. There's always more to it. So I liked it. I gave it like 4.5 stars. So Once and Future Witches. I really like this story. Do I recommend it? Yup. So, moving on. The last book, Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. You see? Okay. First of all, Toni Morrison. Her books, her style of writing is very unique. Her reading, her books, they can be a little tougher to read. I'm gonna tell you right now, with Toni Morrison, she doesn't dumb it down. So when you're reading Toni Morrison, you're gonna have to go to dictionary.com. She doesn't dumb it down. You're gonna have to learn new words, okay? Because every time I read a Toni Morrison book, my vocab increases because, like I said, she doesn't dumb it down. You need to catch up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you need to look up words, but it all comes together. Her style is unique. I don't think anyone writes like Toni Morrison, and it's like she gives you all these pieces, and then like all the pieces in the it's like a quilt. You know what I'm saying? There's all these different pieces, and then in the end, when you look back, it's like this beautiful tapestry, right? So, Song of Solomon. The main character, his name is Milkman. That's his nickname. His name is Macon Dead, named after his father. This story takes place in Michigan. Milkman is this takes place in the 1960s in Michigan. So in Michigan, black people, it's the 60s, but in Michigan, the blacks that live in the north don't have it as bad as the south. You know what I mean? So I think that he had a very comfortable upbringing. He comes from money. He never had to work for anything. Basically, his father owns real estate. He basically got a job when he was old enough working for his father. Very comfortable lifestyle. I mean, it's very easy to work when you like walk into a position that you knew you already had from the day you were born. Okay? Money's not an issue. He always had everything. So he has this, when he's in his 30s, he starts going through this transition where he feels like he wants to make his own way. He wants to be his own man. He doesn't want to work for his father for the rest of his life. He wants to be his own man. I heard a businessman once say, the keys to your house are not in your father's pocket. You know what I mean? You got to build your own house. So I get what he's saying. I get where he's coming from. The problem is the way he goes about this, it involves some fuckery. It involves some foolery. You know what I'm saying? So he goes on this journey. And when he goes on this journey, all the questions he has are answered. And he kind of finds himself on this journey. I don't want to ruin it, but it's... So yeah, like at first he got on my nerves because I'm like he's such a... he just got on my nerves, but I understand he kind of... Like this was the journey that like made him the man he is. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed this book. So Toni Morrison does it again. Song of Solomon. 5 stars. It was beautifully written. Very, very beautifully written. And another thing about Toni Morrison, I love her characters are so, they're so like unique, and in this story I really liked the character development. He went from like this weirdo with this stupid nickname to like he really became his own man in the end. So anyway, 5 stars. Toni Morrison, Song of Solomon. And that concludes this month's wrap up. Thank you for watching. I wish you good reading. Bye.